afternoon, everyone. I'm sure you guys must be surprised to find me standing over here. I could easily pose off as a student, but yeah, I've been called in, tipped in, roped in to speak as one of the speakers. Well, we all love movies, right? Don't we? And I'm sure most of you would have watched few of them, or maybe the cartoon Jetsons. So what's the common link that we have between these movies? One, they are all based on the future. And second, they are based on that version of future where there are no plants, no trees, no nature, just people and technology. Well, this is the second version, where these are pro-environment movies who are trying to promote the concept of living one with nature. And then there is a third version as well, which I believe is highly possible, the most dangerous one, where we can be taken over as zombies as well. Quite possible. In simple words, what I'm trying to say over here is that the future is in our hands. I'm Priyanka Amar Shah, a Shetkari, as you Puneites might call me, a farmer, an urban farmer, and I'm over here to promote the future of my dreams. My dream. I believe when we were kids, all of us wanted to be a superhero, maybe destroy the evil, save the planet Earth. That's exactly my dream. My dream still remains the same as I had it in my childhood, to have a green and a healthy planet. All I want to do is give each one of you access to fresh and healthy food from an urban farm. Not for a living. As Mark said, it's very difficult to do farming for a living, but for you guys to lead a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. So what makes my dream so different or so important? Because how much ever we tend to avoid or we tend to ignore, deep within, we all know that the alternative future can be very, very frightening. Roti, kapda or makan. Food is a basic necessity, right? Isn't it? But still, we are living in a times where the onion prices tend to shoot up and we are devoid of favorite kanda bhajia during rainy seasons. Or you enter a restaurant and you get pav bhaji without kandas. And the worst part is that with the increasing prices, we are definitely not assured of quality. Though the prices have been increasing over a period of years, the quality has definitely been deteriorating. Do you actually know that your food travels on an average of 1,000 to 2,000 kilometers before it reaches your food plate? You really think that's efficient? It definitely may be. Maybe for the transport companies because they are earning a lot of bucks out of it, but definitely not for the farmers, not for you, not for me, and definitely not for the environment. By 2050, the global food demand will actually grow by 70%. Taking the Indian scenario into consideration, by then India will be the most populous country and we'll be having close to 900 people living in the urban areas. So just think about it. If we have all the rural people actually migrating to the urban areas, because that's going to be the population, who really do you think is going to do the agriculture part of it? Who do you really think is going to do the farming part of it? And if all the rural areas are actually being developed and are being converted into semi-urban areas or into urban areas, where do you really think the farming will actually take place? Just think about it. And the environmental scenario. 44 years ago, the first Earth Day took place. And since then, the temperatures have been rising. I'm sure and these are different stats given by different big organizations. I'm sure each one of you over here must have read it somewhere. Maybe in the newspaper, in the magazines, seen it on TV. We do think about it, ponder about it over a minute, talk about it with our family, discuss it. Aaj bahut garmi ho gayi hai, idhar tufan ho gaya hai. And then we get back to our daily routine. But the fact is, even though we human beings haven't noticed, that doesn't mean the atmosphere hasn't. That doesn't mean the ocean hasn't, the trees hasn't, the nature hasn't. And you know what's the worst part and what's ironic about it? We human beings have caused these changes and we are the last ones to actually notice it. So if you think all these reasons, were not good enough to actually make you think about the environment, I would like all of you to do a very small, simple exercise for me. Okay? I have a timer over here. I just want all of you to hold your breath for a minute. Please genuinely try doing that. Just for a minute, okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Go. For a minute. So it's just been 15 seconds if some people are finding it difficult. Yeah, we have one person already given up. 30 seconds more. A few people gasping for breath. You have to do it. Okay, I'll cut it short. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. For all those people who are regular followers of Baba Ramdev, maybe it must have been easier for you guys. But trust me, for others, this is how difficult it's going to be for you guys to breathe in the coming decades. If you don't take the correct measures, the correct steps right now, this is how difficult it's going to be for you to breathe. 15 seconds and I saw someone giving up. Like I said, if all those reasons weren't good enough for you, maybe this exercise will make you rethink about it. So iKheti was started exactly to correct this vision of the future. I haven't studied agriculture. I have no degree in agriculture. I started this organization 2 years ago. And I'm over here. Whatever I have learned is because of my passion for nature. I've learned it staying with the Malis at the nurseries, with my cooks who go for 3 months to their villages, do kheti badi over there and come back. All this, I'm sharing it with you because I want to just let you know that it's actually easy to do it at an individual level. So me having no background in agriculture, to do it at an individual level, not again for a living, it's quite easy. So how do we start building for a better future? At iKheti, we do by a simple process called segregation of waste. In Mumbai, Mumbai generates about 8,500 tons of resources daily. Okay. Tons is a typo error, that's not there, but resources definitely is not a typo error. I didn't write waste over there, it's resources. Because if you know, 90% of the wet waste that actually goes to the landfills is just made up of air and water. So if you're actually segregating at source, you're segregating wet waste, it can actually be converted into compost. And when you're segregating the dry waste, that's plastic and paper, which can be recycled, you're actually transporting waste in the end. I'm not talking about resources and waste mix, just pure waste then to the landfills. That makes more sense. Right now, what we are doing, we are actually wasting money to transport waste, which in the end gets wasted. So I don't really think that makes sense in the end. So that's what we are doing at iKheti. We create our own compost for our food. That's the 80 kg composter that we have installed in a society in Mumbai along with a partner Dirt, which produces 180 kg of compost on monthly basis. That's for bigger societies. About 60 families contribute waste over there. We have the other one, the small composter, with a capacity of 10 kgs, which have been installed over different educational institutes across Mumbai. We have the home composter as well. So for a family, it's good for a family of 4, and it produces good manure for about 4 to 5 plants. So once we have the compost in place, you still have to grow veggies, right? So what do you do about the space part of it? Space being a major constraint in a city like Mumbai. And the way Pune is going, I soon believe that's going to be an issue over here as well. What I mean by marry agriculture with architecture is I want each one of us to actually imbibe growing edibles, veggies into our lifestyle, make it a part of our homes. We can easily do that. I believe the seeds that you have been distributed certain seeds today during the registration part of it. So those are the seeds of the revolution. I call them the seeds of the revolution. If you want to be a small part, play an important role, I would just request all of you to go back, just pot them, plant them in any pots and containers. If you don't have a pot and container, and if you think you're lazy enough to go and buy one, just take a paper cup and put it in over there. It's that easy. So that's what we do at a micro level. That's how iKheti started. We started with individual households levels, individual households, and then we moved on to rooftop farming and terrace and different patio gardening. As you can see, these are the stuff we've been growing right from chaulis to turai, dudi. We have about 10 to 15 herbs growing in each household. When we started, there were a lot of questions. There were a lot of issues, space constraint being the most important issue, and obviously time. In a hectic schedule, people really didn't have the time to actually water the plants. So that's why we came with the system of vertical farming. I think Mumbai is not as lucky as Pune because we really don't have balconies over there. All we have over there are box grills. So to work on those box grills, we started vertical farming, where we have come up with we've installed PVC pipes. As you can see over there, we have Malabar spinach actually growing on a box grill. It easily feeds a family of 4. You can have all the other herbs growing over there as well, like mint, lemongrass, poi, which is also known as Sri Lankan spinach. We have normal palak, coriander, and it gives a continuous supply for a family of 4. That's what we have done on a bigger scale. That's been installed on a building, and we have everything right from chauli to spinach to other things growing on the building over there. And that's another way of doing the vertical farm, where we have a lot of herbs growing. Taking into consideration the watering part of it, I forgot about that. People usually complain that, we